slightly from his left to the right.
What do you feel? These putts are a lot more difficult when you charge the first one by. You have to ensure to still give this the adequate hit. And normally players tend to underhit the ones coming back, especially the first one if it's been hit hard. Let's see if Thanga is an exception to that. Of course he is. He's a recent winner on tour. The man of gold, Thanga Raja.
And the Raja, of course, has got no trouble there from a short distance with the flat stick. And in fact, he's got no trouble with the longest of the clubs, the driver, as well. As we take a look back at young Anshul Kaptial. Kaptial just going with an iron here on hole number 10.
If you have so much power, you don't really need another club. And just let's look at that swing. You could see that pure compression with a long iron. Normally, a lot of the players would do well just to get the tee out, but he takes a divot as well. It shows you the kind of speed that he has. But unfortunately, that's an errant shot for him. Built like built like an athlete.
Maybe he overplayed the wind there. Arjun Sharma now. Arjun also going with an iron. He's a draw player. Always been a very good ball striker. Arjun Sharma from Greater Noida. And this week's tournament carries a prize purse of 1 crore rupees. The Tamil Nadu Open 2025 presented by SIPCOT in Tansem. This is the 19th event of the 2025 PGTI season as we take a look at Arjun Sharma's golf swing there.
Also very athletic. Always complete swing, good balance. And a really good putter. Probably one of the best on tour. And a straight driver.
Sharma comes up on the right side of the fairway. I think navigated the winds just about right. Pranav Madikar now. Clearly the 351-yard hole is not playing very long. It's only the side wind which has to be navigated. The wind probably blowing a little bit from left to the right from behind the players.
Also opting to go with an iron, and you can see he's really choked down on that. And why a player would do that is to keep the ball low. And that's some brilliant camera work right there.
Both the shots finding the right side of the fairway for Arjun as well as Pranav Madikar. Arjun Kaptial will have to navigate his way back out of the woods on the left side of the fairway. As we go now to hole number 9 from the tee to the green.
Yeah, straight up, not much in terms of difficulty of the tee. A very generous fairway. And normally plays the direction of the wind is also similar. Only the ferocity.
On our screen now is the group from 8:25 a.m. Rohan Dole Patil, Vasu Sehgal, as well as
Hole number 1 on this golf course now is the US par 5 for 54 yards.
my apologies. That's the group of Anshul, the dog leg to the right. I think that's a very interesting par 5, isn't it? With when you can hit the ball on the other side of the fairway and be able to get a better approach. In fact, that's what most of the players try to do. And you get, I think, a 9 iron or an 8 iron from the other side. While if you hit it in your own fairway, you'll probably be left with a 4 iron or a hybrid club for your second shot. That's quite a bit of a difference. We take a look at Jamal,
Let's see.
winner from last week.
I can see that wind buffeting against his shirt. It's really considerable, isn't it?
Absolutely, I think it kind of makes it a little confusing for the player, and when the wind's hitting you that hard, you're not so sure how much you want to hit the putt. You're trying to control the putter, you're trying to control the ball, and then you've got the wind. You're almost trying to hold yourself also against it sometimes.
I know it's a little early, but if you were to pick a player right now, who would it be from the ones that you see?
Well, at the risk of being slightly biased, I think Arjun Prasad, who's been knocking on the door time and again, is probably poised very well. And of course, Jamal is also coming off a win, so I can't really give you one name, but I think it's going to be between the two gentlemen here that we see.
The safe play wasn't your forte, Rahul. You were always a long hitter and going for broke. I would expect better of you, my friend. You have to pick one.
And then there we have it. Arjun Prasad is the one that I will pick.
And according to me, I feel that Arjun, of course, a very good player. Um, but Jamal has a slight advantage. I think he's a wily customer. He knows the conditions better, and he's somebody who's not especially long off the tee, and that might actually be an advantage here because he has that sort of ball flight which is lower with a little bit of top spin, which can actually tear through the wind. So I look for him to maybe conquer this golf course.
I think while Jamal has just won last week, so that actually gives him a good position to be in. In fact, and talking about his experience is second to none in this entire field. And Jamal, of course, being in form also helps, and that's what it is for him. So it's not going to be an easy, finishing over the next 1.5 rounds that we see, but definitely Jamal Hussain will have to be watched out for. As I now call upon my namesake, Mr. Rahul Banerjee, out into the commentary hot seat.
This week is the 23rd uh, week on the Professional Golf Tournament of India, including the PGTI qualifying school tournaments. Otherwise, the 19th event. We've seen quite a few high quality events this year. A lot of prize fund, and this week is no exception. Playing for 1 crore on this beautiful golf course. Now Arjun Sharma in view.
This is probably the windiest course on the PGTI schedule, Shaurya, because let's wait for this putt from Arjun. Long putt. This didn't break as much enough from left to right as you would have anticipated, but coming up to a very decent lag putt on this two-tiered green. And a big good morning to all our viewers on this penultimate day of the 1 crore rupee Tamil Nadu Open at the Coimbatore Golf Course. And of course, my namesake Rahul Bajaj handing over after a very informed stint alongside him was Shaurya himself. As you've been listening, he's been giving you little tips and little peculiarities of some of the players on the screen in front of you.
I think it'll be interesting to talk about your European sojourn after this shot. The conditions would be reminiscent to what these players are facing here. And now Arjun on hole number 10. While hole number 1, the par 4 with OB on the right hand side. See the golf course. That could really suit Arjun. Look at that. Such a clean transition. Very nice hit he has. Consistent each and every time. And couldn't have asked for better right down the middle. He is the front runner. Side Jamal, Pranav Madikar, Anshul Kavatyal at 1 under. Some of the other players, Vashi Sehgal and Thanga Raja from Sri Lanka at even par. Jamal surprisingly going with the driver. We've not seen anyone thus far, or even otherwise in the tournaments that we've played. Very rarely has somebody sort of taking this hole on with the driver. It's not one that normally players would test bravado on, but
Also, he's a man with a lot of confidence, Shaurya. He's been playing half of the season in pretty good form, just coming off a win. So he will be, a little more at ease with his game, whatever. Though I think you're right, he's gone offline over there by
he's
the looks of it.
definitely has a look of consternation on his face in discussing with the caddy. But I'm pretty certain that he missed it on the left hand side. We couldn't quite see where that ball ended up, and he's such a seasoned campaigner. He'd know that which side he would actually want to miss that ball on. So interesting to note where he ends up. Now you have Anshul Patel.
It's another big unit, Shaurya.
Yeah, very strong, and that's we're heartening to see that the youngsters of today are all of them are proper athletes, strong, not just athletes. We have the number one characteristic. I don't know where I read this article is that for golf, of course, you need agility, you need flexibility, you need speed, be it focus. But the number one sort of common factor between all the great players has been strength, and specifically strength of the arms. And that's I think that's something that Anshul has in abundance, because you have to be able to control the club. And that becomes very paramount in conditions such as these, because the wind can really take the ball away. So you want to put a very sort of considered solid hit on the ball, and that is really aided if you have strong arms. I think,
And shoulders, I'm assuming.
yeah, of course, everything else, but I think that's the last link of the chain, which
Right. Right.
really does come in contact with the club. As we have a look at this chip shot right here on hole number 11. That is, it's a little bit of work left. You can see on the back left the entire OB running alongside this fairway. So you see players tend to take a little safer line off the tee. So you'll find them missing it in the trees on the opposite side of the OB. And that's what normally happens if you're flanked by trouble on one side, especially out of bounds. Yeah, you can talk about water, which some players can flirt with, because you hit the water, you can take a drop at the point of entry and lose one shot and still go on about your day and make a bogey. But if you sort of hit one out of bounds, unfortunately, starting from the same point with a two-shot penalty.
Right.
Now, I, for one, always found that out of bounds should have just been a one-shot penalty to start from the same place, but of course, it is very penal. So rarely do you see players taking the out of bounds on. You would see a lot of players taking water on.
Right.
But even the best ball strikers don't want to make that mistake, taking the out of bounds on.
Well, Thangaraja was quite confident with his chip. I mean, he didn't hold back. He's got it to fairly makeable length on this hole. Manu Ganda's up next on the edge of the green. Interesting pin positions today, Shaurya. Other than 2 or 3 holes, I think they've gone for the side, pretty much extreme left and right on all the greens by and large.
It'll be interesting to note how the wind affects this putt. The wind is in the direction in which he is putting, left and right. Let's see how the ball behaves. Died down somewhat. You'll see that the leaves are not fluttering in the background. So maybe this putt goes in the hole, but yes.
It looked like it broke a little bit more than he had anticipated. Manu is a very calm customer. He's not going to be fussed unduly by a few. Interestingly, looking at the scores today, Shaurya, yesterday overnight, I think we had 6 players under par, and that has now dropped to 4 as things stand. Or even 3 actually, right now as it is. So definitely, like you and Rahul have been pointing out, the wind is proving to be a big factor. And conditions like this, do you deliberately opt to play for a lower flight? Is that the sensible way to go about it, or do you lose out in distance? Is there a compromise involved over here?
Well, it depends on the direction of the wind. As we have a look at Thangaraja, normally if players are playing with the wind at their back, then they want to hit it higher so as to capitalize on that tailwind, hit the ball further. But apart from that, all 3 other crosswinds, headwind, you want to keep the ball low. But that's not something that you can just do in the spur of the moment. As we have a look at this putt, you would have got a good read from Manu, but look for him to make this one. And he does right in the heart of the hole, as Joy Surjo also lines up for his putt. So players would try to hit the ball low, but that's a shot that, as you can see, the birdie there in the corner reminds me of series.
That's
back
right.
in the day. That's the first time I saw the duck walking, the golden duck walking out. But this,
Channel 9 was famous for pioneering that little bit of whatever you want to visual trickery,
Yeah,
if you
that-
like. But it was very innovative and very catching, very eye catching.
that was a sight that players would not want to see, a batter. But this is definitely one for a professional golfer, is a sight for sore eyes. A birdie. Oh, he did the walk. Unfortunately, ball didn't quite go in the hole. So he'd end up dropping a shot. So we've had a par, a bogey, and a birdie on this also. It's seen all different fortunes on hole number 11. As we go look.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है।
मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने एक चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है। जिद क्या पावाली, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद क्या पावाली, जिद।
Back to the action, and this drone shows you the aerial views. You can see some of the areas where the paths are there sunburnt, and then splotches of green grass. It's going to the kind of weather and the wind, especially. The wind makes it difficult to have consistently green grass.
It's interesting, Shaurya. This place is just under the Nilgiris. I mean, the Blue Mountains or the Green Hills, what you want to call them. But over the years, Coimbatore is a water dry and hard, and of course the location of the course, it's a gap, which is a break in the Western Ghats, which funnels the wind, which is one reason why you will always have high winds at the clubs. Of the leaders of Tamil Nadu Open.
Yeah, beautiful moments. Players trying to fight conditions. It's going to be a trying week. It's not going to be easy to win this tournament. I fear that it might become a battle of attrition towards the end, given the conditions. Not really going to see a breakout round. Maybe you are, but more likely than not, it's a good round here. It's just 2 or 3 under par. Upwards of that is going to be very difficult, especially with the reeling of the greens conditions. There you have Mr. Chari. It's so essential.
Just going back to your point, I'm sorry, about experience. I think this is what will count on the course, on a course like this, because if you look at the top 8 or 10, currently the only 2 players who are yet to drop a shot today are Jamal Hussain at the top and Arjun Sharma a little further down the order in 5th place. Everybody around them has at least one bogey to their name, if not more.
Yeah, so I'd say that they almost have similar games. Arjun, of course, a little longer off the tee, and they're very proficient. The mid-ball flights that they have, they're very good with the putter. Of course, the techniques that they employ are totally different. Arjun is a lot more conventional. Jamal, he has a lot of yaw, so as to speak, in his body when he's hitting the shot, and a lot of body English as well, but he's unique that way. But he's very good from this distance off the green, devastating with the short clubs in his hand. You see that technique. As soon as he seems like he's come out of the shot a bit, but the ball is given. So you'd find it very difficult by looking at his reaction and trying to gauge where that ball has gone. But somehow he just wills it next to the hole.
Right.
And so that's why I think these 2 players are really suited to this golf course. Good, they're able to put a good consistent hit on the ball, and that's something that will definitely earn favor on this golf course.
Young Anshul Patel is up next. I think looking slightly downhill putt.
There might be something to that theory, because if you look at Shankar Das, he's at 13, the former number 1. He's in fact eagled the par 5.
Right.
So there are players who are sort of mid-length of the tee, but have a very good controlled game. Mohammad Sanju also one of them. Look at this.
That's
shot.
a good
Going for it.
looking shot. That very good looking shot.
Yeah, that was really good effort.
Scared the hole certainly on its way.
Mohammad Azhar as well on 13. So all of these players are mid-length players. I think that is something to tell. This is not a week like most others where it's just bomb and gouge and a definite advantage to longer hitters. That's something that we saw at the Ryder Cup, which was definitely one for the ages. That just pure long hitting is not an advantage unless you can really have tidy it up towards the end. But of course, you do need a certain amount of length of the tee, and that's where our Indian golfers have really exceeded. I've seen the average distance have gone up as we have a look at Arjun here. Arjun also able to carry the ball about 290 off the tee. Now, these numbers were sort of unfathomable back in the day, but these are global numbers that our top Indian players are producing with ease. That's why I think the future of the game is really exciting. Opting to keep the flag inside
Tidy conversion there, no
for a
fuss.
birdie.
And he now goes into the sole lead on 5 under par.
Mani Ram also making the cut at 6 over par. His game, though, you would think that is not really tailored for this golf course. He's a little shorter of the tee and hits the ball really high. But of course, he has a lot of experience and makes a lot of birdies. That's a good part. And pretty organized player and pretty friendly fellow playing out of Karnal. And he's a veteran. He's won quite a few tournaments on the next gen tour. And also very good finishes on the main tour. In fact, it's in somewhat of a purple patch, so wish him luck as well. As we have a look at
Sanshul Kaptial, I think.
the prodigious Anshul Kapatyal.
Pretty close to the OB line, like you've been pointing out. It's in fact the fence is perilously close to the edges of the fairways, Shaurya.
Yes,
Tight lies.
it's a case of blink and you're gone. That's
Yeah.
happened to me many a times playing this golf course. Played so many tournaments here. Sometimes you're really on song and you forget. You just align in the center of the fairway and hit it, and the ball just sails away. Because the wind is so pronounced, the slightest miss hit, and it's gone. Very difficult bunker shot. Not much space to work with. Seems like the lie is downhill as well. Hasn't he done well? What an absolute class act right there.
Beautiful. Nice. Going through with the swing. And the breeze really, I mean, I'm sure it plays on the minds as much as being a physical factor. Probably like you played here. How much of it was in the mind and how much of it were you catering for, I mean, physically as when looking for the ball to swing?
Well, as we just had a look at that beautiful bunker shot by Pranav. Really nice bunker shot. I thought that was a lot more difficult than he made it look. I think it's not much to do with the mind, unfortunately, because you are braving these conditions. It's rather difficult given how the wind is. And of course, having a stoic mindset can help you, but when you see the ball not quite going where it wants to, it can be a little difficult. But that's where the saying comes true. You'll definitely work hard. And has borne the fruit of labor is Mr. Rahul Bajaj himself. He's now not playing, now imparting his holy grail of knowledge to many students, and thus I've seen him put on a few happy pounds of muscle or weight. He'll talk about it in a bit. That's a conversation that we'll definitely have. So over to Rahul.
No happy pounds in there. I wish it was muscle, but alas, it isn't. Though we'll get done with it in a few months. Having said that, talking about a stoic mindset, my friend, it isn't very easy to keep a stoic mindset when you're playing a windy course like the Coimbatore Golf Club. At the end of the day, it is known to be the windiest golf course in India. Tournament field of 126 professionals and cut applied at 8 over par. Clearly, you can tell you are at the windiest golf course in the country. Mr. Banerjee, an absolute pleasure to be sitting alongside you. The most eminent of golf journalists in the country.
I'm just a recorder. I record events, and people like me, my fellow commentators, are the ones who create events. So it's actually a bigger pleasure for me, Rahul, to be sitting alongside the two of you. Thank you very much for those kind words. But like we keep saying, we are the ones who just record what happens, and you are the ones who make things happen. So,
Very, very kind of you, but that's what journalists do, right? They record and they report events the way they happen. That's what it is, isn't
that's
it?
right. That's right.
You are the ones who make the news.
Well, You bake the news. We just
Bake the news.
we just bake it. That's well put. It's one side you make it, and the other side we bake it. And in all of that, we saw a very nice, confident-looking conversion there from about 5 feet. Change of lead also, as we've been pointing out to you, Arjun Prasad now with that birdie on the 11th hole. I beg your pardon, on the 10th hole has now gone into a one-shot lead over Jamal Hussain, who's one of a very small number of players who are yet to drop a shot on this extremely windy and testing course.
And Pranav Madikar is staying steady, currently at 2 under par, so still within striking distance. Will this be a rookie's week or not? Is yet to be seen, but N. Thangaraja is also slowly but surely creeping up, now at 1 under par for the tournament. So there is enough amount of experience in that top 5 on that leaderboard, while we've also got the lone Pranav Madikar trying to make his own mark. Is blowing like that, it's definitely very tough to keep the drop shots off the scorecard. Thangaraja doing a phenomenal job here.
In fact, if you look at the card, Rahul, like it's more the experienced players who have managed to bogey. It's probably a combination of all the years of experience and having handled Manu Gandas in a bit of strife there.
I think over time, and that's what especially on a course like this, the wind is out there. It's actually going to force you to make some errors, and some of the better players and the more on making birdies out there. Manu Gandas having a bit of a tough situation there. So this is a lie where the right leg is above the left, and the ball is lying down while probably in the bunker, while the entire stance cannot be made inside of the bunker. So he will have to put one foot out, try to get a little steep on that golf ball, and try to get that ball going as good as possible.
It's a very messy looking situation, Rahul. He can't seem to make up his mind about which way to go about it. Ball also looks like to be on a down slope, so this is not a good place. And he's
12th
really,
hole is a par five, so that could be a bit of a respite for him. It's only 464 yards. He's probably hitting his third shot, which he is right now, as we can tell from our screen. And if he can really get this ball going in the correct way, he could make a birdie, or he'd still have a putt for birdie, nonetheless. He would have to go a little bit more steep on that one, I think.
he's really gone low. He's taken a very low stance. He's choked down on his club as well. So this is going to be a real test for Manu, vastly experienced player. Has spent a year in Europe as well. Looks to have done really well given the conditions. It's a phenomenal save out of that what was very clearly a pretty tricky situation.
And absolutely, and talking about experience, Manu Gandas is has his own experiences also right up there with the others. In fact, he has been number one on the PGT of India just 2 or 3 years ago, and has gone out and played a lot of golf on the DP World Tour over the past couple of years, and done a phenomenal job from that tough position. And you can tell, the better player will not flinch, and he will not be deterred even by a tough situation like we just saw.
I mean, like you're pointing out, if he's actually set himself for a birdie on this one, that birdie conversion, that's a great save. A par five, he's come out of there with his third, gives him a good chance of walking away with a.
Yes, and what I liked over there was that he's actually, it seems like he has used a lower lofted club because he had more room to play with, and did not make a very big swing, did not make a very steep swing. He just about nudged it with that lower lofted club back out of the bunker and let the ground do rest of the job. We take a look now at Joy Surjo Day, who's currently at 1 over par for the day.
Few seconds at a time, but comes back with just equal ferocity within seconds. And this young man, rookie, first year, doing well. I think he's in contention for the first time in the top 10 after a fairly longish time. 19th event of the PGTI's 2025 schedule in progress. Long putt.
Incidentally, this tournament has returned on the PGT of India's calendar after 16 years. The first two editions were held in Chennai. The government of Tamil Nadu is the title partner for this event, and SIPCOT and Tansem are the presenting partners for the event, for the tournament which is being held here at the windiest course in the country, Enthangaraja, on our screen now, currently at 1 under par for the tournament. Thangaraja also playing alongside Joy Surjode and Manu Gandas. Thangaraja seems to be putting for an eagle from that long distance. Does he have the right pace? Seems to have still got some work to do there. About 5 to 6 feet away from the hole for a birdie is Enthangaraja. Coming from the bottom tier and up here. He's done a pretty good job over there while being aggressive, still leaving himself a very makeable. Let's see what he does from here. Sujo Day just coming. One's going to be an important one to stop his wheels from coming off. Unfortunately, that wouldn't find the bottom of the cup. And Thangaraja just holding on to his cap so that it doesn't fly away with the winds. Manu Gandas now on the 12th hole, putting for a birdie after that 10. Manu would have no problems in the wind, considering all of his experience on the DP World Tour. He would have played a lot of windy golf courses in his experiences. Currently at 1 under par for the day, putting for a birdie from just about 5 feet away.
Taking his time over the putt. He knows that the wind, maybe he's even waiting for it to die down a shade because it could just affect the roll at the very end. Could it not, Rahul?
Absolutely, just a wee bit, but considering it's a short putt, I'm guessing he would try to make this a firm one as well. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be. He will have to settle for. Did make it drift.
Unfortunate. I mean, now you would have 9 out of 10 times you would have expected Manu to have made a conversion on that one, and just unfortunately he couldn't do so. Thangaraja now one of the few who are yet to drop a shot. And now I'm not putting the commentators question him, Rahul. He's done really well. He, Jamal, and like we said, Arjun Sharma are the three men in the top 20, I think, who have managed this course better than the others. Let's put it that way.
No trouble there for N. Thangaraja. Moves himself to 2 under.
I think we've had two international winners on the PGTI, Rahul. Tanga was winner 2 weeks ago, and last week it was Jamal Hussain. But not really, because he was so far ahead of the field. He was running. He was literally setting the pace from day one. So here he is on camera in front of you. He did a good job on the previous hole. His drive, he was one of the few who picked up a driver there. All others teed off with irons. He used a driver, and I think he went pretty close to leaving the course, but he recovered really well to come away with a par.
Jamal now on hole number 11. Number 11 here is a 406-yard par 4. So par 4, a very interesting par 4 this one. especially because of the wind. You know, you have to hit like a little draw into the wind so that you can hold it against the wind. And no trouble there for Jamal Hussain Mola, finding the bottom of the cup from the short distance away.
Event leader Arjun Prasad now left to clean up, tidy up with his putt on the 11th. There's one young man who's been knocking on the door for some time. Rahul came close earlier this season. Yes,
So many times this year, Mr. Banerjee. He's been close to finishing up a tournament. I think it's just in the making. You know, it's just something that is going to come together for him
no, I think you were together
sooner
commentating the
than we
day
know
he
it.
missed out on the at the Adani Open. I think it was.
Yes, absolutely. I think
Yeah,
that
that's right.
that was a tournament where he went into a playoff.
Playoff. That's right.
Prasad cleaning up there, should stay at 5 under par. Good Prasad with two birdies on the scorecard for the day so far, and only one lone bogey on hole number 3. Mentioned to the PGTI Tour partners: Victorious Choice, IndusInd Bank, Amrutanjan Electro Plus, as well as Amol and Campa. We also have the partnership of Rolex, an association that dates back to 1967 for Rolex. Rolex has been associated with the sport of golf for all of these years. And of course, bringing, coming back to that point that you made for 4 weeks, and Indian tour domestically for professional golf across the world, actually, and especially in this region that you're in. And that the openness of the tour actually gives the opportunity to players from across the region, as well as some other countries who come in to ply their trade here in India. And it really goes to show how the PGTI is developing the sport across this entire belt, the region that we're in.
I mean, if you look at it, it's virtually a home tour for players from Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka in particular. I mean, so many of them ply their trade here.
Absolutely. We've also got now, I think, 2 Italians who play on the tour regularly. We've had some South Africans in the past who've come
That's
in
right.
and played professionally over here. So there have been plenty players who do come in from across other countries, and owing to the growth and development of the sport over the past couple of years, I think that number is only going to increase. Panam Madikar seems to have found some sort of trouble over there, trying to go outside of the realms of the golf course. Not such a good idea, my friend.
Yeah, he's really having to work things out because the ball is either stuck near a bush or very close to the boundary wall by the looks of it. So he's really now having to work things out.
It seems like it's still in a playable position. Arjun Sharma seems to have chipped in from
It's a
away.
very long conversion by the looks of it.
Pranav Madikar gave a subtle little clap to him as well. Madikar, I think, seems to have found his golf ball, should be able to play some sort of a creative shot from there.
Probably also waiting for a ruling, Rahul, by the looks of it.
Yes, I think so. But at the same time, he's also sort of chalking out, if at all he does not get a drop for the situation, what else could he do from there? Anshul Kaptial coming in from the bunker on the right and the back of the green. That'll be a tough shot. He's got hardly any room to stop the ball. Hopefully he can cook up plenty of spin under that one. He does a fairly good job of that. Anshul Kaptial would have nearly about 6 feet remaining for a birdie here on the par 5, number 12. Kaptial, who's currently only made 2 pars on his scorecard today. Can you imagine? It's been 11 holes, only made 2 pars. He's had a string of bogeys and a string of birdies both. So quite colourful there for him, staying around at even par for the day. 4 birdies and 4 bogeys. Can Kaptial overcome and make his 5th birdie to go 1 under par for the day? Remains to be seen. Pranav Madikar coming in from the rough.
To hack his way out of that lie, Rahul.
It seems like he's done a fairly good job of that one. Has he made it up onto the
I'm
putting
not sure
surface
whether the
or not?
no, I don't. Doesn't the ball doesn't seem to have left the fringe rough. I think
Seems to have gotten caught there, is
yeah,
it?
I think he held back on the shot a little bit. Not sure, but it's probably still not reached the green because didn't seem to be a lot of conviction in that shot, Rahul. His practice swings were fine, but when he actually executed the shot, it looked like he held back just a little. Consequently, the ball is still not on the dance floor.
Are you saying that the ball also held back a little?
You can see there
Yeah,
you
but I
go.
think you're right. It got caught in the rough there on the uphill portion, which would have been the first portion that the ball would have struck.
He just
Runner would
didn't
have
go
his
through
work
with
cut
the
out
shot.
here. Runner would have his work cut out here from the rough. The ball will come out a bit jumpy and a bit runny. It'd be hard to put any spin on the golf ball coming in from thick stuff like that. And that'll be a bit of an up and down required here to stay afloat at 1 under par. Mardikar coming up really aggressively would still just hit that one about good 12 to 13 feet past the hole. Got a lot of work remaining for the par. Can't even call this a windy day, can we? Considering the windiest course in the country, you can't really call the windiest course in the country looking windy, can you?
And call the play for the next few holes alongside you, Rahul. Shaurya is back, and Buzz so eager to go.
Shaurya Singh back in the commentary seat. He seems to have been well caffeinated over the past couple of minutes.
Indeed, Mr. Bajaj, indeed. We all need our fix. And I think golf and caffeine, well, doesn't quite get better than that.
It seems like you could do with a little bit of ginger thrown into that throat as well.
Absolutely, but I feel a little better now that I'm talking about golf. So I think that is the cure for all my ailments.
Tanga Raja with 3 birdies on that scorecard today and bogey free. And alongside his friend Jamal Hussain, also bogey free today with 1 birdie on the scorecard. Only 2 cards we see up here bogey free for the day. And incidentally, mind you, as we spoke, a bit earlier as well, it's tough to be bogey free on courses which are really windy. Pranav Madikar cleaning up there on the 12th would come up with a 6. Unfortunate miss though for him because being that close to being 2 on the green and probably just about running by the green, by about good 5 or 7 yards, and the next thing you know, you're stuck in the middle of rock and a hard thing, and it's tough to make an up and down from that.
Yeah, this golf course can do that to you.
Incidentally, Shankar Das has made an eagle on the first hole today.
The par 5,
The
the
par
dog
five.
leg to the left.
Yes.
I'm pretty certain you would have been in your time when you were playing, been able to get on and 2 on that hole.
You're saying in my heydays, is that what you mean?
Back in the day. The days of yore.
Yes.
You were able to get on and 2
In
on
fact,
that
I'm pretty sure that even you were able to get 2 on onto all of these holes.
hole? I wish I could recall. I don't think I.
But you do remember, I think one of the more interesting holes actually, Kaptial, unfortunately, missing the birdie here and would have to settle for a par. Well, one of the few pars on Kaptial's card today.
Before we get into that, I want to ask you a question. Being a golf coach, what is it about Anshul Kavatyal that he's able to hit the ball this far? Of course, the physicality is there for all to see, but
I think I'll have to look at many more of his golf swings to be able to actually ascertain properly as to what it is. But there are definitely a lot of ingredients that go into hitting the ball far enough. And talking about that, talking about the par 5s and the 2 ons and so on and so forth, if you remember the 14th hole that used to be then, I think now
Yes,
is the
the
5th
par-
hole.
yes, the par 5.
Yes, the par 5. You remember how that OB line would go on the right side? It was
Yes.
big downwind on the tee shot and a huge left-right wind on the second shot, nearly a 90-degree dog leg towards the left. What was interesting was that like the wind completely switched on your second shot, and you had to manage the two shots in such a different fashion with the water hazard right in the front of the green. That was a tough hole to get to,
Like, you know,
even though very approachable in terms of its yardage, but still tough because of the navigation of the wind.
we'll get to that, and a very interesting story about that hole, which will make our viewers probably fall off their chairs. But let's have a look at this short par three.
Arjun Sharma.
Hole number 13, erstwhile fourth. It's very
All
good
of
hole for the
100
players. A little bit of reprieve in all this difficulty at the 100-yard par three. Let's see how they do. But the wind is, of course, making that even difficult now. He's got to about 25 feet. Not ideal given the length, but of course the wind is making everything a lot more difficult. How would you practice for a week like this? Just keep everything on the back foot and keep bunting them, or is there any
Actually,
other
not at
suggestion?
all. In fact, if you remember, there are hardly any holes on this golf course which will play straight down or straight headwind. So you don't really need to bunt down any of the shots. In fact, you have to learn to ride the wind over here. That's what will give you a good scoring opportunity. You got to ride the winds, not fight them at all throughout the week.
Exactly. So there, Rahul has said it. You need to be a rider of the storm. Let's see if Anshul could do that. He, of course, can hit the ball 320, but does he have the Midas touch? Let's see if he can have the precision of the tee as well. 110 yards. Not much. Look at that. That's a really good shot by him. Use the wind to his advantage, left to right downwind. We saw how that ball really came to a quick stop, even though the tailwind is so pronounced, and that's of course because he has that speed and he can put that backspin on the ball.
Anshul Kaptial just turned professional in 2024. So this is him playing his second season on the tour.
Playing alongside Pranav Mardikar, who's on the tee now. But this does look like perfect weather, that's for sure. I know the conditions are a little oppressive as far as the wind is concerned, but temperature is perfect. 27, not here, not there. It's perfect. You can see a slightly overcast, and I remember this is one of the most enjoyable events to go to.
In fact, Kaptial has been able to, have three top tens already in this season. This is just his second year. Apologies, four top tens this season. So he's gunning probably for his first victory now.
We saw Pranav come up there, good 30 feet short. So it's not just the length of the tee, it's just the wind that is making everything so difficult. What do you think is a normal average yardage? The distance from the pin, proximity that you hit it from, about 115 yards for a good professional.
I think that's going to be at about inside of 15
Inside
feet.
of
So this is
15
about 12 to 15 feet would be the average on the PGA Tour from that yardage. Uh, Yep, that would be more realistic, and of course, very close for people who are, when you're hitting good shots. But on an average, you'll be at 12 to 15 feet.
Yes, it just shows you how difficult it has gotten because of the wind.
So, one of the things it'd be interesting for our viewers to know. A lot of times that when we see golf.
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने एक चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a
What's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Back to the action now. Jamal, he's done a good Job in terms of matching his outfit. Electric blue trousers with that cap to boot.
Incidentally, Arjun Sharma also playing to bogey free for the day, making an eagle on the 12th hole, goes to 2 under par for the tournament. He's 2 under par for the day as well. So, pair of 72s to start the tournament, now playing to 2 under par. Jamal Hussain,
Drawn himself the July, so it's hole number 12, the par 5. Interesting note, I think this should be his third shot.
Anshul Patel coming up from the rough here on the 12th has done a phenomenal job from there. He's been able to put the brakes on that golf ball. It's quite
Yeah,
a shot, I must say.
Almost like it was on a string.
It's like he's got like a remote on it. The moment he's reached pin high, he's like stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Hole number 12, par 5, 464 yards. Very birdieable hole for the players. This is the erstwhile third before the shot. Par 3, two birdie opportunities. Very realistic birdie opportunities here for the players. And we see Jamal definitely out of character there. Surprised that he ran it by. I did say that he's drawn a difficult lie, but didn't quite expect that to cause much trouble. And now he's faced with a tricky up and down for par. We'll have to work to keep that card blemish free. And we're beyond the halfway mark on the moving day here at the Tamil Nadu Open and being played at the Coimbatore Golf Course. The Tamil Nadu Open 2025 presented by SIPCOT and Tansum is the 19th event of the 2025 PGTI season. The tournament carries a prize fund of rupees 1 CR and is the third edition of the Tamil Nadu Open and the first to be staged at this iconic golf club, the Coimbatore Golf Club. The tournament returns on the PGTI schedule after 16 years, so that's a welcome sight indeed. The first two editions of the tournament were staged at Madras Gymkhana Club, and both the previous editions, in fact, were won by Mukesh Kumar's long history.
Jamal Hussain coming up from back of the green. He still has some work cut out for his par. Leaves it short. And incidentally, talking about Mukesh Kumar, he has the longest standing 11-stroke margin for winning a tournament, the biggest margin of victory on the PGTI ever. This was made by him in 2008 and still stands the test of time. As I think his record of the number of wins that he has had on the tour.
Absolutely. I don't think those numbers will ever be broken. It's going to be one record that will probably stand the test of time. He's been a bulwark of Indian professional golf and so one of the flag bearers of Indian golf. Has shown you what longevity truly means, what love of the game means. Coming from humble backgrounds, he was able to scale the heights of professional golf, also having won on the Asian Tour. So, surely with hard work, ethics.
Mohammad
And
Sanju from Calcutta has also made his way into the top 10 now at 1 under par for the day and 1 over for the tournament, just about creeping his way in. Mohammad Sanju looking for a top finish, for struggling for quite a few seasons now.
Yeah, MD Sanju also has a game which is suited to this golf course. Sort of medium hitter and puts on a good hit on the golf ball. I think that's the common denominator between all these players who are playing well. You know, when they hit the ball, it stays on line. You can't really go around here with smoke and mirrors and expect a result. It's not going to happen. This golf course will definitely gobble you up on one of the other holes.
I think Anshul Patel is having some troubles out there, stringing along a bit too many bogeys. Currently at 2 over par, has dropped multiple positions on that leaderboard. Pranav Madikar also has had his wheels come off a little bit on the 12th hole, and hopefully he can make it back up. So it's not easy to cover up 6 shots on a course like this, but you never know really. Probably it's a course like this where 2 shot swing or a 3 shot swing can pretty easily happen on a hole, isn't it, Shaurya?
Yes, especially now with the wind having picked up this week, and normally the wind is a factor, but not so much that it makes play.
Electric Blue Jamal Hussain, a winner from last week.
Uh, Doing what I do on the putting greens. Unfortunately, that's the camera work. A little bit of a 1 second glitch, which resulted in him being frozen. Something that I was akin to.
The internet or the network has gotten you stuck. You could actually get the entire network stuck.
Yeah, I used to cause a log jam. As you have a look at Arjun Prasad. The players now definitely do play a lot quicker.
Prasad cleans up here with a birdie on number 12. Would move to 6 under par, leading the tournament by 2 shots.
Arjun Sharma also making all the right moves, having eagled hole number 12. He moves to 2 under par. Himself, Thangaraja and Jamal are all blemish free, not a bogey in sight.
Mention to all the other players who are on the course and playing to under par numbers. Mohammad Azhar at 2 under par for the day. Jairaj Singh Sandhu and Mohammad Sanju also. Mohammad Sanju, my apologies, at 1 under par. Manoj S at 2 under par. We have Gaurav Pratap Singh also at 1 under, as well as Mohammad Jakir Zaman Jakir at 1 under par. Divyanshu Bajaj also at 1 under par for the day. So a couple of names over there who are playing to under par figures for the day. And Thangaraja, of course, having the best of it all at 3 under par.
And Mukesh Kumar, the defending champion, is only getting younger. He's in 38th position. Shows you that is a game that has stood the test of time. 60 years old, I believe. 60 years young, my apologies. And look at that game. That's something that has taken a leaf out of Tom Watson's book.
I mean, I think so it's been quite a while since I played on the tour. But the last time I played with Mukesh, which was about 7 years ago, he could still hit the ball as far as maybe a hair longer than the average ball striking distance of the tee. So if the average would be around, I think 280, 285 would be pretty average these days on the tour. Mukesh, on most occasions, would be around 280 to 290 yards off the tee.
When was the last time, though? Let's have a look at Arjuna. I really doubt that he'd still be able to fly ball that number.
Yeah, he's pretty good at hitting it far. So and he's one of those players that you will find. In fact, you find that in most of the experienced players, they don't really push the button on the golf ball on each of the holes. 13th hole, Arjun Prasad, our leader.
This would be really ideal for him. Loves to flight it down and keep the ball under the wind. Let's see how he does here. Oh, look at that golf shot. Look at that golf shot. What an absolute beauty. He's
Brilliant
making the
shot.
most of it. That's the best that we've seen. So it's not just longer shots that he can hit well. Even these 100-yard shots, owing to that, the way that he plays golf, keeping the ball down and a good hit on it really makes a difference. I look for this to be close as well. He likes to favor a draw.
It's a 110-yard hole. Good amount of wedge control is required to keep the ball in your control in these kind of windy conditions. And,
Jamal,
definitely not in screen size from the hole.
a little bit of mystery where that ball has ended up for Mr. Jamal.
Seems like Arjun would have the advantage of walking around with a putter. Did you know that Mr. Amitabh Kant has joined the PGTI as its newest member of the governing body? An avid golfer has joined Kapil Dev, Gautam Thapar, Udayan Mane, Ajitesh Sandhu, Amardeep Malik on the board, as well as Vikrant Chopra. Some of the eminent corporate leaders who have joined are Shantanu Narayan, Pradeep Bakshi, and Nikesh Arora in advisory roles for the PGT of India.
Yes, of course, we have been lucky that we've been able to get luminaries associated with the Professional Golf Tour of India, and that augurs well for the growth of the game in India and even internationally, because the Professional Golf Tour of India is an open tour. Anybody from the world can come and play here, and you have world ranking points as well. So a lot at stake here, and especially as far as the prize funds are concerned, they've burgeoned over the years, and you can really do well and make a lot of greenbacks, so as to speak. So not just pride, world ranking points, but of course even financial um, payouts have increased. So it's definitely one of the more valued. I would say to call it a domestic tour would be an understatement. It's international in flavor and domestic in locality. We do have a lot of international players now playing on the Professional Golf Tour of India, and this January again we'll have the qualifying school. So you'll see a lot more attendance, which has gone up year after year, especially as the prize funds have gone up. The association with the DP World Tour, the PGA Tour. So of course, we are seeing the stars of the Ryder Cup descend upon DGC in probably 2 weeks' time. So it shows you that's an exciting time to be on the Professional Golf Tour of India. All of these players would be vying to play the tournament. Of course, our man here on the screens will be front, right, and center.
Jamal unfortunately dropping a shot on hole number 12, and now he's here on hole number 13. Still has his work cut out. He's got about 6 feet remaining for his par. Jamal quite not so happy with that effort. He has now helped Arjun increase his lead to 3 shots.
So this is what can happen on a short hole until it's overshot the flag, and but he'll make his par. He's got a really great touch from around the greens, and he's done well there. So the week after this, the tour travels to Bengaluru for the Bengaluru Open 2025 at the KGA, Karnataka Golf Association. Defending champion for the tournament is Abhinav Lohan. And then the big one, the DP World India Championship. You'll have, if I'm not wrong, top 25 PGTI golfers, 20/25 PGTI golfers playing that. So anybody who's in the top 20 from last year's order of merit, oblique a winner this year. So there are still two shots, so to speak, two bites of the cherry. Anybody who wants to play that tournament must win one of these two tournaments. Who's otherwise not exempt. So there's just so much to play for. You'll have Rory, you'll have Tommy Fleetwood, you'll have so many others.
I hear Shane Lowry is also participating in the event.
This is a Ryder Cup almost. As you look at Jamal, I think this is a very important putt for him. As far as momentum goes, you don't want to be dropping 2 shots, especially on a par 5 and then here. He would really be cross with himself if he drops it, and might be difficult to come back from that.
So it's time for Jamal to actually get things back in shape, and that definitely was an overread.
You know, that is a little out of character, and he's going to be hot under the collar now. That could move him back to 2 under par, and Arjun opening up a sizable lead of 4 shots.
Take a look now. We've got Arjun Prasad. Arjun Prasad preparing to make birdie to move himself further away from the rest of the crowd to 7 under par.
So now we have a 3-way tie now. Thanga Raja, Arjun Sharma all at 2 under par, and Arjun Prasad has made birdie on 10 and 12, and it's not quite done yet. Going to birdie this one as well. So would take him to 7 under par and open a 5-shot lead. So seems like your prediction seems a lot more truer at this point in time. Jamal would really need to effectuate a lot of change on the last few holes if he has to really contend. He'll be 5 shots behind, needs to make a few birdies to catch up with the man right here on the screen, Arjun Prasad. going from strength to strength.
Moves to 7 under par and 5 shots ahead from the rest of the crowd as Jamal drops another shot and moves to 2 under par to tie alongside N. Thangaraja and Arjun Sharma.
You can remember these trees. They used to be on that par 4. I get a little confused. What is the hole number here? That short par 4, which was drivable back in the day. I think it was hole number 7, which should be hole number 16 now. if I'm not-
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है। मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद
Back to the action here at the Coimbatore Golf Club, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Tamil Nadu Open being played here at the Coimbatore Golf Club for a prize purse of 1 crore rupees. Our leader currently is Arjun Prasad at a score of 7 under par, leading the tournament by 5 shots. We still have a day and a half of proceedings left over.
Those 7 trees called the 7 sisters, 7 palms. A unique feature of this golf course on this hole, the short par 4, where I think the water body is a new addition. I don't quite recall that being there back in the day.
I think there was a water body, but I think it was pretty hidden, especially owing to that downwind, the straight downwind that we used to have on the hole. I think it never came into play.
Or even into view. So that is a little bit about this golf course. A lot of history, a lot of champions, a lot of amateur tournaments played here.
Thangaraja on this 15th hole now coming up for his birdie as I call upon my co-commentator Mr. Rahul Banerjee to join Shaurya Singh here at the commentary.
My job is made a little more difficult. I get confused. 2 Rahuls, Mr. Bajaj and Mr. Banerjee. Even the surname initials are the same, so not much changes. As from Mr. Bajaj, we have Mr. Banerjee and Mr. Thanga making the putt. So the king of gold carries on in really good form and moves to 3 under par.
Well, change being the essence of life, Shaurya, it's no bad thing. The only thing is the name doesn't change, which is why I can understand this poor guy's confusion.
Well, no confusion for Thanga there. Absolute clarity in the bottom of the cup. Manu Gandas now trying to follow suit. This putt should break a little bit from his right. With the heel of the putter a little up. And that looks good. That looks good. And that drains beautifully for another birdie, as you can see. The birdie mascot on the right hand side. So a happy birdie right there.
Manu's third birdie of the day, Shaurya, and he needs to get a move on because Arjun Prasad really has, turned up the heat on the rest, and with people dropping short, now he's up ahead by 5 shots. Courtesy of three birdies in his last 4 holes, which is terrific. And around him, people have been dropping shots as well. Jamal Hussain consecutive bogeys have seen him fall off the pace quite significantly. and Arjun is finally adopting the, like you said earlier, moving day. He has taken it to heart. I think he's probably heard you as well, and he's really got a move on now.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है। मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद
Back with live pictures from the Coimbatore Golf Club, venue of the 19th event on the PGTI's 2025 schedule. And players, surviving field of 52 now playing for the prize fund of rupees 1 crore. Arjun Prasad has opened up a lead. He was middling along for a while and shots ahead of the rest of the field.
And we find a shot underway. Yes, he's playing really well, especially on the back nine. 3 birdies in 4 holes, quick succession. Rapid fire. Even Thanga has had a good back nine, 2 under on the back nine, and Arjun Sharma with that eagle on hole number 12. Jamal, unfortunately, faltering on 12 and 13. As we have a look at Arjun here at hole number 14. A little bit about the 14th hole. Hole number 14 playing to 394 yards. It's another birdie opportunity. If you can keep the ball in the fairway, of course, that's a lot harder than this talking about it. Shows you how well he is playing. And we've gotten an update. Thanga Raja has birdie. We saw him make that. Coming up a little shy, should be able to secure par from there. He's playing hole number 14 erstwhile hole number 5. Gets a little confusing at times, but and a lot more confusion for Jamal, who is dare I say coming apart at the seams. 2 bogeys, and now he finds himself in another spot of bother. So he really needs to steady the ship, otherwise it can really get away from him.
Very unusual, Shaurya, because he's otherwise a pretty calm customer, and I think he's put himself under a bit of pressure. That flared shot to the right on what was it? That was hole number 12. That has shaken him up a bit, and he's really not recovered from that. Even his par 3, he hit well to the right of the pin, was off the green.
But that was a good recovery shot by him right here. So fortunately got stuck in the thicket. I think this golf course can do that. You just, one weak contact and you can drop a shot. But he's done that a lot. I mean, he's recovered always from any sort of a setback. And we've seen that as a common theme. So he'll have to dig deep here again. Because the problem is that coming up are quite a few difficult holes, especially hole number 17. So.
And then, like you pointed out, I mean, making up a deficit of maybe 2, maybe even 3 shots is possible, not easy. But having fallen 5 off the pace, it's really going to be hard work for him to come back. And I think he'll need all his experience to sort of, calm himself down, get the focus back on what needs to be done over the last 5 holes for him.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain that hole number 18 would be a birdie opportunity for Jamal. 17th is going to test him. 16th is a 7 iron, but with the wind, so a couple of bogeys. If he can make par here, then I think he's fine because, of course, Arjun is in a little bit of a purple patch, having made a lot of birdies. You don't want to lose the tournament. You just want to stay maybe at least 4 or 5 shots, and then you can mount a challenge on the final day. But here, with the conditions as oppressive as they are, the wind, you never know. Maybe even 10 shots is something which you can manage on the final day with a stellar round. It can make things a lot more unpredictable, as we're seeing. Let's see Jamal if that shot game comes to the rescue now. Maybe about a 25, 28 feet shot. And there you see it's no, that's what something that can happen in the wind. You can second guess yourself, and he just needs to stay focused on avoiding bogeys, and maybe he can make that putt. As we look at the others, Arjun Prasad having no such issues. He's a 7 under par, and Thanga Raja, the recent winner on tour, Arjun Prasad.
But it's the,
Arjun Sharma, my apologies, having made eagle, is in third position alongside Jamal, who we see having a few difficulties here.
in fact, it's a reverse position in terms of pace. Tanga is picking up shots as we go deeper into the back nine, and Jamal is really having his struggles. Tanga's picked up 3 shots, and Jamal we could see him drop his third shot after making the turn. So, yeah, Arjun Prasad, in the meantime, your leader by 5 shots.
And that's fairly well done by him. Should be able to knock that in for his part. And as we have a look at some of the other scores, Mohammad Azhar has crept up 2 under par today. Manu Ganda is also doing well, 2 under, very stable. Vasu Sehgal, 3 under par. So all these players, unless it's possible. MD Sanju, 1 under for the day. We also have the Southpaw Jairaj Singh Sandhu, 1 under for the day. There's another Southpaw Anshul Patel, the stocky, strongly built Anshul Patel, leaving that or 2 feet short.
He had a good teach from Arjun Prasad. He also stayed a little short. I wonder why. Is that because the pin is seems to be on top of a bump? I mean,
Yeah,
they probably don't want to overrun the pin. Is that why?
Yeah, it seems to be on a little bit of a crest, so
Yeah.
makes it a little more difficult because you don't want to run that by, and given that the wind is from the back, so the players are erring on the side of caution. And you see Manish Thakran also playing well, 1 under par today. And
Jamal really needs to get his focus back, and he's played 3 very indifferent approach shots in a row, and even this one, right, he just left it so short. He literally has to cover the. This is one of the 3 center pin locations out of the 18 for today, and which leaves Jamal a fairly long putt, in excess of 20 feet, and coming up the hill as well. So
it's going to turn a little from the left. I'd say make percentage on this would probably be about 10 to 15 at most percent. You'll probably give it 10 tries and hold it once. Very difficult putt uphill with the wind at your back and breaking right. He hit a good putt. Unfortunately, that would be a trio of bogeys and would take uh, Jamal to 1 under par. So still has 4 holes to go. 15th is a birdie opportunity. 16th, a good iron shot can salvage a birdie maybe. And 17th, of course, is that hole which is absolutely treacherous. We've seen some high numbers there, and the only solitary birdie by Amrit Lal. It's a hole that normally plays into the wind and has a deep gorge in front of the green. It's about 30 yards wide, the tall trees. So that hole is safe to say is a long hitter's hole. Unless you hit a strong drive, you'll be left with a very long iron, and maybe in the headwind. I remember myself hitting a 3 wood at times as well. Of course, I'm just maybe a medium hitter, so it can prove really challenging for the players if you don't catch your drive. As you have a look at Anshul, let's see if he's able to make par. He's also had a sort of underwhelming day. He's been 5 over today. So the wind is testing the players. It is moving day here at the Coimbatore Golf Club, and somebody who's moving in style is that man on your screen, Arjun Prasad. He's at 7 under par, and N. Thangaraja is following him at 3 under par. Is it going to be finally Arjun Prasad's week? He's been exceptional for the last year and a half. His talent has really come to the fore. Plays his golf for a Gurugram. Also, the son of a defense forces officer.
One gets the feeling, Shaurya, that Arjun just needs to make that breakthrough, and before we can really see him, truly come into his own. He's been so close so many times in the past, including at least once this year when he lost in a playoff at the Adani Open GP Greens this summer. So one is it's just that the first win. I think in his case is going to be a little elusive, but if he gets it and once he comes through, I think he will set a good pace. Playing some really mature golf here today.
Yeah, he's got a good head on his shoulders as Arjun as he makes that putt. But of course, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. The victory, whenever it does come, is pretty much academic. To be honest with you, when you're playing such good, solid golf week in week out, and of course you want the victory, but it does happen. Sometimes things do take their own time. What he's more concerned about is trying to finish number one on the order of merit. You can see it's been 15 events. And we have a look at Thanga, who would not make that putt, unfortunately. So you see Arjun Prasad at 69 lakh, trailing Yuvraj Sandhu, who is not playing this week, who's at 88 lakh. Arjun Prasad trailed by Shaurya Bhattacharya at 65 lakh. Udyan Mane, the Olympian, at 63, who's of course been numero uno previously. Angad Chima would also be looking at the number one spot. So Thanga, they all want that number one spot that they too, like the man on your screen, Manu Gandas, can experience playing on the DP World Tour. That, of course, can really elevate a player and his stature, his profile, his CV, so to speak, and take him among the stars, such as Shubhankar, who's had that breakthrough win and got on the DP World Tour. Unfortunately, though, he's been in a little bit of a rough patch, and I'm sure that he'll be able to figure things out sooner rather than later. And yeah, look at Manu here. We saw Thanga miss that putt. Let's see if Manu can give it a more assertive hit. The wind is making it difficult for these players to hold putts. And he too misses it, and on the lower side. So a few difficulty for our players here in the wind, but no difficulty for my co-commentator, Mr. Rahul Bajaj. The only difficulty is sauntering on now and joining us, which he will be. He's also wearing green, the flavor of the day. Over to Mr. Bajaj now.
Young Joysurjo Day, rookie pro this year, joining the ranks. He's had a slightly up and down day. Started well, fell off a bit. And that would be quite a relief for the young man. Finally seeing the ball drop into the cup. And meanwhile, at the top, there's been plenty of activity, Rahul, while you were away. Well, young Arjun Prasad has really got the bit between his teeth now and looks to be running away with moving day honors. He's picked up 3 shots after the turn. Thangaraja, 2 weeks ago at Zion Hills, is slowly but steadily making a move upwards, even as we see our overnight leader, Jamal Hussain, drop off somewhat. He's dropped 3 bogeys in a row, in fact, after the turn. So reverse fortunes for Arjun Prasad and Jamal. And he will, the Dhaka golfer, need Pranav Madikar lining up his putt.
Pranav Madikar, who's also had a bit of challenge today, especially on the back nine. He's really had some tough times with the wind there, getting blown away, if I may. Madikar now has got nearly about 4 feet left for a par here on hole number 15. Peculiar. We've got Anshul Kaptial coming up on the tee box. 16th is a par 3 here at this venue.
where in fact Thangaraja just dropped a shot. So once again, the gap at the top is gone back to 5 shots. Arjun Prasad on 7 under par, and now two-way tie for second place behind him between Thangaraja and Arjun Sharma. Arjun Sharma going along very well, picked up 2 shots on the par 5 12th.
The 16th hole here at Coimbatore is a 181-yard par 3. I remember this is a new green over here, but back in the day, this particular green used to have a certain area on the frontal part of the green wherein the ball really wouldn't even stop. So, players would, especially if the pin position was in that peculiar location, it was really tough to make two putts on that flag. As we take a look at Arjun Sharma. Sharma
Currently sharing second place, Rahul. 2 under par.
Sharma currently at 1 under par. My apologies, since dropping a shot on the 15th after that short putt miss for Arjun. Arjun seems to have found a little bit of a gust there and moved off the ball. Sharma making a strong swing over there from 180 yards away. Has he instilled enough control on that shot or not? It's yet remains to be seen. Wait for the players to reach up to the green before we can comment on that. So we take a look at their third player, Pranav Madikar.
But definitely, Rahul, I think the wind is now starting to tell on the even the thinking of the players, because they're really taking long between shots. They're waiting, trying to bide their time and wait for it to die down. In if that is happening for hitting.
As we spoke earlier, a lot on a course like this rests on the fact that players don't end up making mistakes or dropping shots. More than collecting birdies off the course, I think it's important to sort of stay afloat on such a golf course.
Right.
Keep giving yourself opportunity after opportunity and wait for those putts to really drop in.
बचपन से ही खेलते आ रहे, मतलब जब से पैरों पे चलना शुरू किया, जब से क्लब पकड़ लिया हाथों में 5-6 साल की उम्र से, तो गोल्फ से टच हो गया। प्रो बनने के लिए हमने आई थिंक 2005 में सोचा था, जब पहली बार खेलने लगा रेगुलर। उसके बाद हमने ट्राई किया प्रोफेशनल के लिए, एंट्री फी भी पे करी, लेकिन मैं गया नहीं। पापा ने बोला एक घर पे रहो, फिर इसलिए गए नहीं हम। फिर उसके बाद पापा खेलते रहे। फिर पापा ने जब PGTI बनी, उसमें फर्स्ट टाइम क्वालिफाइंग आए पापा। फिर उसके बाद फिर 1-2 साल गैप करके 2-4 साल फिर हमने मेहनत करी, फिर हम आ गए। पहला प्रो टूर्नामेंट हमारा था काठमांडू सूर्या मास। ये तो पार्ट ऑफ गेम है, तो अप एंड डाउन रहता ही है, लेकिन स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा बेटर था। अभी बीच में 2-3 साल से थोड़ा सा डाउन हो रहा था, थोड़ा फील ऑन ऑफ हो रहा था, लेकिन अभी थोड़ा सा इधर आया है, थोड़ा सा फील कम बैक। वो देखिए एक मूवमेंट वो ऐसा था कि एक शॉक हो गया था कि वो लास्ट पट पिला के, मतलब शॉक हो गया कि मैं जीत ही गया। और उसके बाद तो ये होम कोर्स था। पहले 2 दिन तो मैं इतना अच्छा नहीं खेला, मुझे फील हो रहा था कि 2 अंडर 2 दिन का स्कोर तो अच्छा नहीं है होम कोर्स में। तो लास्ट टाइम थोड़ा सा पटिंग अच्छी करी, मुझे पता है कि अगर मैंने पट पिला दिए तो मैं जीत सकता हूँ। भतीजे का नाम है हमारे सोम रावत, और ये फीडर टूर स्टार्ट होने से पहले लखनऊ में इवेंट, उससे पहले बोला था उसने चाचा ट्रॉफी लेकर आना, तो इसलिए फिर लास्ट राउंड भी वो आया था होल नंबर 7 पे, जब मैंने स्टल शॉट सेकेंड शॉट मारी होल नंबर 16 के लिए। फिर वो आया साथ पूरे तीनों हमारे साथ ही था, और उसके बाद फिर वो लास्ट होल विन करने के बाद फिर मैं उसको लेके गया साथ में। अभी थोड़ा सा स्विंग थोड़ा सा चेंज किया, जो काफ़ी टाइम से नहीं हो रहा था, वो अभी थोड़ा ट्रस्ट किया, स्विंग पे थोड़ा सा काम किया, थोड़ा सा अभी थोड़ा बेटर फील हो रहा है। ज़्यादातर हमारे फ्रेंड जैसे सलीम खान का कैडी है, गुल्लू मेरा कैडी है, नीरज, तो ये हो गए, और 1-2 लोग और हैं, बट उनसे थोड़ा सा बस ऐसे ही बात हलवाई हो जाती है। अब इस साल मेरा कुछ टारगेट है कि एक आध टूर्नामेंट जीत सकता हूँ, थोड़ा फील बेटर हुआ है।
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Sanjeev Kumar from Lucknow. He's been a professional golfer since 2011. He's 33 years of age. Has been a winner on the tour as well, winning the Next Gen event. Sanjeev comes in from humble background with a history of golfing in his family.
Anshul Patel now on screen. Young man, not really having a great day. Member of the lead group, but has fallen well off the pace.
Anshul Patel has still got some work cut out over there for himself on the 15th hole, about 4 feet away for a par. For all of our viewers, you can tell from the state of the flag, the state of the clothing of the players, how much wind there is at the Coimbatore Golf Club. It is the windiest course in the country, and by no means has that award been given to it frivolously.
I mean, even experienced players now, Rahul, are struggling to cope with its demands.
Well, I think that's got to do a little bit with the probably the fatigue of making the right decision over and over again. Having said that, I think still Arjun Prasad is leading the way at 7 under par, 5 shots ahead of N. Tangaraja, the man who has just won a couple of weeks ago at the Zion Hills. And unfortunately, Jamal Hussain has dropped 3 shots, triplet of bogeys on 12, 13, and 14th to be at 1 under par. Would I count him out yet? Not at all. Anshul Kaptial, of course, sticking around at 1 under par alongside Arjun Sharma, his playing partner. We take a look at Jamal. Jamal sizing up every foot of that putt.
He really quickly needs to put the trauma of those three bogeys, successive bogeys behind. Has seen enough, played enough golf to do that, Rahul. But it did affect him. I mean, a couple of unusual shots, unusually weak shots from him. The wind really whipping around now.
Really going back and forth on that putt. He's finding it tough to make that decision, I believe. He's probably thinking, mulling between two lines that he can see.
Quite understandably so. Because, I mean, look at the way his trouser legs and his shirt sleeves are thrashing around in the wind. It's not going to be easy at all.
That's Jamal now finally making his decision. Seems like he's playing this one from the right a little bit. Does he have enough pace on that one? Unfortunately, that ball missing from the left. Seems like, sometimes it's just not too good an idea to just take so much of time as well. You've got to just make up your mind and go shoot it through. Unfortunately, seems like a case of paralysis by analysis here for our friend Jamal Hussain.
Yeah, very well put. I mean, also the fact that he's dropped 3 shots in 3 holes will be playing on his mind. That ball seemed to have broken much more sharply than he expected.
I think for a player like Jamal, more than the three bogeys playing a part in his mind, I think it's more like you start pushing a little bit harder to get that one shot back for a man of his caliber, and I think sometimes that can probably force you to make some errors. Anshul Patel, left-handed golfer, coming up from just on the side of the hole, putting for par.
Young man is not having a great day. He started with a birdie, but flurry of drops, 6 shots, 6 birdies after that, 3 before and 3 after the turn. Has seen him fall away quite drastically, but
That
this
was
would
a
have this would have come as a huge relief, Rahul.
Yes, that was a birdie, a little faux pas by me. This was a birdie putt for him on the 15th. Arjun Prasad,
Another one.
also putting for birdie to go to 8 under par, take the lead to 8 shots over the rest of the playing field. The par for the course here at the Coimbatore Golf Club is 72. The course is just in the late 6,000s in terms of its yardage, just under 7,000 yards, but it's the wind that plays the havoc over here. This tournament is supported by the government of Tamil Nadu, presented by SIPCOT and Tansem, the 19th event of the 2025 season, and lots of golf still remains to be seen. The tour from here moves to Bengaluru for next week's event at the KGA. We take a look now at Manu Gandas, who's coming up from behind that victorious choice board, who is one of the tour partners here on the PGT of India. Manu, not his best short game shot there. Unfortunately, will still be left with nearly about 30 plus feet to the hole. Tangaraja coming up from just off here on the 17th. 17th, a par 4 of 421 yards. Tough hole. The 17th has always been one of the most challenging holes on the course. Stroke index of 4 bestows it.
Anybody walking off from this hole without damage to the card, Rahul, will feel quite satisfied by the looks of it. You've got rough on one side, you've got water on the other side, so precision, I think, is one of the maybe a key factor over here.
Absolutely. We can only see Manjot Singh, who's made a birdie, as well as Amrit Lal. Only 2 birdies on this hole today. And lots of big numbers which have come at the bottom of that leaderboard, but lots of big numbers on this hole. Seems like a case of, if your sight goes away from it, you'll probably make a mishap of it. Tangaraja coming up from short of the green. This whole, there's a little bit of a re-layout of that front part where the hazard is. Was a double dogleg hole back in the day. The drive had to be a little bit from the right to the left, and the second shot had to be cut a little bit because the green was kind of nestled behind a little area of the trees and a hazard right up the front of the green, pretty much sticking through. And the back of the green also had the forest at the back, so making it a really tough approach shot. With a long iron in your hand, you have to be really precise. And Tangaraja will be tapping in on the 17th. Tangaraja, one of the topmost professional golfers from Sri Lanka. Staying at 2 under par after the 17th hole. Joyce Jode now coming up from about 15 feet away. Joyce Jode currently at 2 over par for the day and the tournament. Putting for par. Joyce Jode misreading that one. Like a long way away from finding the bottom of the cup. Will have about a tap in left. It seems like a bit of an underread for him.
It broke really sharply from as it got closer to the pin. So 6-shot lead now for Arjun Prasad. And he will be quite happy to bring it home as things stand and not make sure that he navigates the remaining 3 holes left for him as safely and as much control as possible, which he has shown pretty much through the day, particularly after he made the turn. One early dent in his card, dropped a shot on the 3rd hole, but has played really extremely good golf.
One who cleaned up 17th. And Joyce Jode now. And on the 16th hole, we have our leader group who is now teeing off. Jamal Hussain on the screen, which we have on the right side. Live 2, as we call it. Jamal on the 180-yard par 3, trying to get this ball close. Finds himself coming up short of the green. He'll still have a little bit of work to do with the wedge. We take a look now at Sri Lanka's N. Tangaraja on the 18th. Tangaraja seems to be aiming for the other fairway, which is to cut the dog leg and get a shorter club into the hole. Tangaraja never misses his target with that driver, I can promise you that. Placing himself on the right side of the fairway. Now comes Manu Gandas, former number 1 here on the PGTI. Manu Gandas, of 29 years of age, plays most of his golf for the DLF Golf and Country Club, turned pro in 2015. Has played a couple of seasons now on the DP World Tour. A peculiar way of standing, addressing on the golf ball as well. Really does pack a punch behind it, doesn't he?
And what I like about him is that you will can never say from his expression whether it was a good shot or a bad shot. He's always has a very calm, very impassive look about him. Never changes whether it's a good shot or it's a great putt or a terrible shot. He's always in a nice, comfortable zone, regardless of what the score is against his name. This was today now, team up on the final hole for him.
Playing in one of the leader groups on this penultimate day is Joy Surjo. He does get after it, doesn't he?
It's a pretty whippy action he has.
Most of the young guns these days hit it a really, really long distance. And I think Joy Surjo is no stranger to long driving himself.
Here are 3 golf facts which I bet you didn't know. Golf was once banned for being too fun and distracting. So in the 15th century Scotland, King James II actually banned golf in 1457 because it distracted its subjects from practicing archery, which was actually important for their national security and defense. The ban was so serious that golf actually became a national security risk. Lightning strikes are surprisingly common in golf, and in fact golfers are at a higher risk of being struck by lightning than any other athlete. In fact, Lee Trevino was struck twice, once during the tournament in 1975. And his advice after surviving: if you are caught in a storm on a golf course, hold up your 1 iron, because not even God can hit a 1 iron. There's a study from Karolinska Institute in Sweden which states that golfers have a 40% lower mortality rate compared to non-golfers of the same age, sex and socioeconomic status. This also corresponds to 5 years of extra life expectancy for golfers. If you know any facts about golf, do mention it in the comment section.
Those were some interesting facts about golf. Did you know, Mr. Banerjee, that golf was considered distracting? I mean, I've been distracted by this sport now for nearly 40 years, but did you know that it was actually officially in the books like that?
Certainly King James II seemed to have thought so. And he wanted his people to practice archery and they were playing golf. So
I'm pretty sure practicing archery also would have helped their aim quite a bit.
Arjun Prasad here now clearly not happy with the result of that chip. He's comfortably in the lead, but this is
probably his first miscue on this back nine.
Very unexpected error there, Rahul. I mean, he's been playing such steady golf.
Well, luckily we still have a lot of golf to be played. 21 holes to go before we can actually crown a winner. We see Jamal. Jamal really making a lovely shot there from short of the green, coming up from a little bit of thick stuff. Took the aerial route most of the way with that wedge and would have nothing more than 3 feet for a par. Anshul Patel also is up somewhere on the front part of the green. Is he going to take the aerial route just like the Bangladeshi Jamal, or would he take the more prudent chip and run kind of an approach? We wait to see.
Well, closing stages of the penultimate day, the final 3 holes of the leader group as well. And already there's a fair amount of activity. We've seen Jamal chip up close, Arjun Prasad, our leader, by 6 shots. Completely fluffing his effort and not even probably getting to the green. There was a look of perplexity on his face. What happened there? And Anshul Patel, who's also had a pretty up and down day.
Patel trying to follow suit with Jamal's aerial route for this chip shot. Unfortunately, Patel leaves himself around about 18 feet short of the hole. Arjun Prasad, our leader, coming up from the right side of the green, playing his 3rd shot here on the par 3.
He will not want to give too much back to the people chasing him, Rahul. It's certain to give him at least one, unless this goes in. Oh my goodness! Terrific little chip there. Was leaving him a tap in, so that's restricting the damage to one.
Super effort here by Arjun Prasad. Definitely reducing that damage and will be able to get through this hole with a 4. Nice chip and run approach there, more prudent than what the rest of the players in this group took as an approach for a chip shot. Just a tap in left here for Arjun. Cleans up for a 4. Would move down to 7 under par, still leading by 5 shots over N. Thangaraja.
Jamal will also be mightily relieved with that chip shot, Rahul, because for a while, for those 4 or 5 holes, it looked like he had completely lost his focus. I mean, he was, maybe like you suggested, trying a little too hard and consequently not really able to deliver as consistently as he was doing up to that point.
I'd say it's bit early to say. You never know. Players could actually be bestowed with situations on the course, which even bogeys can seem like actually good finishes on those holes. So Jamal definitely trying to make amends over here. Now we take a look at Anshul Patel coming up from 18 feet away for a par. So bit of a pull there for
Completely off, yes.
Anshul.
Nowhere near the hole.
Anshul will have to settle for a bogey here and would move to 3 over par for the tournament. Jamal now putting for par himself to stay at under par figures for the event. Jamal Hussain would stick around at 1 under par for the event, still 6 shots away from our leader, Arjun Prasad.
Sure, probably would have certainly helped him settle the nerves somewhat, Rahul, after that slightly flighty few holes in between.
He did make a par on the 15th as well, so definitely steadying up his ship. As we take a look at the action replay from this hole gone by. And Thangaraja Manugandas coming up onto the 18th hole, the par 5.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया.
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस. जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन. इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं.
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस. थकान वाली प्यास के लिए.
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है. मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने एक चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद.
As we get back now to the live action, that was Campa, a drink that powers your Zid. And seems like N. Thangaraja seems to be going off-roading here. There we have it. A little 4x4.
That's an odd spot.
Reminding me a little bit of the road hole from St. Andrews.
So if he takes relief, he will take it backward, away from the hole. That's what he seems to be doing because the ball looked like it was lodged right against the wall.
Correct.
So he's having to climb up that little wall and look for space behind it.
The 18th hole here is a par 5, 530 yards. Most likely, Tangaraja is here in two shots, trying to find himself a spot which he can get a decent lie at.
So would this be considered a free relief, or would
I
he
think
have to
this
give
would
up
be a
the
relief for the cart path
and,
and the wall at the
and the
back, the
wall?
retaining wall. Yeah, I think the drop is for the cart path, not for the retaining wall, though.
Right. So that would come as a relief for him as well. And this is a critical time, and they can't really afford to be dropping away from the leader as things stand. Already, despite that 16th hole bogey, Arjun Prasad is still 5 up on the rest. So
Well, Tanga would be playing his third from here. In all likelihood, that would give him a good shot at making another birdie. Joy Surjode seems to have found himself a bit in the woods.
looks like he's decided what he wants to do. He's still consulting his caddy and says, "All right, what do you think is the best option?"
He's having a bit of a struggle today, Joy Surjo, currently at 3 over par for the day and 3 over par for the tournament, coming up from that rough situation. It seems like he's going with a wedge. Probably go a little low under the tree to begin with and then create some spin on it. Third shot for him on the par 5. He's done pretty decently from there. He'll have a big putt remaining for birdie. But coming in from the trees, I think he's done all right to put himself on the green in regulation.
He had to also cater Rahul for the tree root, and it was protruding right in line with the flag. So I think which is probably why he opted to go further left than otherwise, because you see the tree root sticking out right in front of him.
That most likely was the case. And as we see N. Tangaraja practicing some acrobatics while trying to play golf.
Closing moments of the third day of the 1 crore rupee Tamil Nadu Open at the Coimbatore Golf Club, supported by the Tamil Nadu government, TANSEM and SIPCOT. And
Tangaraja.
time for me to hand over to Shaurya for the closing stages of the final day alongside Rahul Bajaj.
Tangaraja coming up from that position. Has hit it past the hole, but should have a decent look at birdie. He has about 12 to 14 feet for a birdie, but you never know. Tangaraja is one of those players who can convert these putts. Manu Gandas also seems to be stuck on the back side of the green. Got a little bit of a slopey approach, but he's going with a wedge, not taking any drops. I think he likes the lie of it.
It almost seems like we're in Scotland right now.
Yes, it does appear so, and it can get pretty confusing, especially with that little adage that the lady told us some time back about Scotland and how golf is becoming distracting, and suddenly we find ourselves on a road hole. I don't know what is happening over here.
In fact, I saw that video of Yarmo Sandelin back in the day playing the road hole, hitting it off the ball. I saw it on Instagram in the morning. So hopefully none of the players have to try that today.
Well, if the viewers do not know who Yamo Sandlin is, I suggest you go and Google him. He's one of those players that you would find with the funkiest of sunglasses ever.
Yeah, very flamboyant, and glasses from the space age used to cover the forehead as well. Skiing glasses almost. As we have a look at the dual view. Hole number 18, the par 5. Arjun Sharma looking to unleash one. This is a place that you don't really want to hold back. You want to be jumping out of your shoes and hit the ball as far as you can. For some of us, even jumping doesn't help. Let's see how he does here on hole number 18. It's been a long day. Look at that finish, really nice. Adam Scott. And it definitely worked out well for him.
No problem in finding the fairway for Arjun Sharma. Pranav Madikar now on the 18th. Madikar, who plays most of his golf at Pune, the Pune club. In fact, the tour, the PGT of India tour, moves from here to the Bengaluru Open 2025 at the KGA, being played for a prize purse of 1 crore rupees. Players thereafter will play at the DP India Championship, which is from the 16th to the 19th October at the Delhi Golf Club, where players like Rory McIlroy, Tommy Fleetwood, Shane Lowry will be participating for the $4 million prize purse. Pranav Madikar coming up on the left side of the fairway. That'll make the hole a little bit longer for him, but certainly not out of question for a 2 on. And the last week of October, the players head to the Pune Club Open 2025, which is also for a prize purse of 1 crore rupees. The defending champion is Kshitij Naved Kaul, who also won at Zion Hills just a few weeks ago. And the players will be playing there. In fact, the reason I mentioned that is because Pranav Madikar, that's his home course, the Pune Club.
All I can see is the big event, DP World. That we can get an invite to play that event, Rahul. I have a good sense of humor. I thought I'll make you laugh a little.
Pro-Am, maybe Pro-Am.
You know,
Maybe the Par 3 Challenge.
anything, man. Just hang out on the boundary wall and and hit a few shots. That'd be good enough as well. As we joke and look at Thanga, of course, here there is a serious matter, which is who's going to win this tournament. Currently, my co-commentator seems like a clairvoyant. Arjun Prasad is at 7 under par, so that looks like he might be the one who's going to win this tournament. 5 shots might seem like a bridge too far, but you never know on this windswept course. Anything can happen. And Thanga Raja, 5 behind. Anshul Kabatyal, long hitting Anshul Kabatyal. But the thing is, on this golf course, doesn't quite give you too many opportunities to pull out the driver. So he's having to throttle back and almost play this in second gear. Not many holes that he can really pull out the driver here.
Manu putting for birdie on the 18th. This would help Manu to get to even par for the tournament and undo one of the bogeys of the previous 2 holes.
I think that's a good number. He's on the outside looking in, 7 behind. Even if Arjun gets to 8 under, that's not too bad because the rest of the field is just at 2 under. So if you can get to that,
I think it's very tough to catch up, with 7 shots on a course like this. Cleaning up on the 18th, knocks in his par without any trouble. Joy Surjode would stick around at a score of 3 over par for the tournament. Be about 10 shots away from the leader.
you never know, stranger things have happened on the final day. Of course, the season campaign, Arjun Prasad. Moments of the day. That's a moment that we might not want to remember, unfortunately. In the times, but Amardeep Malik.
Amardeep Malik seems to be scolding the golf ball.
That new abbreviated finish. That's really helped him.
Of course, Gerard Singh Sandhu, 2 under par for the day, has come up to even par to be at 6th position solo.
Gaurav Pratap Singh.
Mohammad Jakir, Zaman Jakir, Manu Gandas. Or
Strong build of Manu Gandas, producing a lot of firepower.
that's N. Thangaraja from Sri Lanka.
That is
That's some leg action, nearly like Scotty Scheffler. Pranav Madikar really lagging that club up at the top of the backswing. Jairaj Singh Sandhu.
see the common theme is they're all athletic. They're all able to turn really well and stay balanced. But he's always been balanced and a good iron striker has been Vikrant as well. Very good with the irons. I think with the modern game, the length of the tee has become such an important factor. Really like to see golf courses like Coimbatore sort of fight that back. It's a lot about accuracy, the consistency of the strike. Not quite certain how important is chipping on this golf course now because you're gonna miss it on these sides where chip putt becomes a little difficult. But if you were to pick one facet of the game which is paramount here, what would that be? As we look at Jamal here on hole number 17.
Jamal putting for birdie from about 30 feet away. Doesn't seem like he's put enough legs on it. He leaves it.
Of course, the difficult hole number 17 looks a little different from years past, but still has the same bite.
The number of years that have passed since you played at Coimbatore, Shaurya, and I mean, I think there's a lot of vegetation that could have come up and gone through.
Absolutely, you're talking about the sands of time. They wait for no one, my friend. They only leave you with memories.
Arjun seems to have put himself in a really good position over here on the 17th. This is, mind you, one of the toughest holes that you're going to play as a par 4 on the entire tour. And Arjun seems to have a very makeable birdie putt over here.
Yeah, as if there wasn't enough daylight between him and the trailing back. He wants to make sure that he wants to seal the coffin on the third day itself. Oh, and just about. That looked good all the while, but that flag was really fluttering, wasn't it?
That would have been a terrific birdie for Arjun, especially on this tremendously difficult par 4, the 17th. And nearly made it. Unfortunately, that would be a case of a lip out.
Wind just nudged it right towards the end. It looked good the entire way.
Talking about nudges, we have Anshul Patel now, who needs to nudge this golf ball back into where it belongs. Anshul having a rough day on this penultimate day, moving in the wrong direction. Moving day, as is the penultimate day called. Players vying to get to the top of the leaderboard on this day. Patel would make a par on the 17th.
It always feels good if you can hold a putt. And I think no matter how bad your round goes, if you play the last few holes well, you at least leave with a good taste in your mouth.
Most certainly. And just makes your lunch taste a whole lot better, doesn't it?
Yes, the clubhouse here. Some good meals up on offer.
A couple of years back, the amendments to the rules of golf allowed the players to repair pitch marks and spike marks which came in the way. And this is a new addition to the rules of golf, and I think it just adds to the fairness of the game, Shaurya, doesn't it?
Absolutely, and the new rules also had shorter time durations allowed for speed of play, down from 50, 40, 40. Now you only have 40, 30, 30. So you got to get your act together. And you only get 3 minutes to find a ball. No such worries for Jamal. That ball is right in the bottom of the hole. You only get 3 minutes as opposed to the previous 5. So it's almost a case of blink and you miss. So
I think you just have to be quick. You just haven't been given any time to think at all. In fact, so thinking fast is something that you don't get to do now. You just get to play. 30 seconds is just about enough to do that. And I think that actually makes the game a whole lot more interesting. Quicker, of course, so makes it more interesting for that. For the players, lesser time to think. I think players can actually commit to the shots a lot more with lesser amount of time at their hands. We take a look at Arjun Prasad now, our leader.
What would you say? Where is he aligning? Would they want to go on the other fairway or just belt a draw? He normally likes to hit a low squeeze kind of a fade, but might be aiming for a draw, you think? Trying to cut the corner here?
Interesting enough, all the players we've seen today have stuck to the left side of the tee box on the 18th, which means that they are trying to hit it towards the right side of the fairway. If you've noticed, our viewers as well, players teeing up on the left side of the tee box would, be playing more towards the right side of the fairway, opening that side up, drawing the ball a little bit. And players teeing up on the right side would actually be aiming more for the left side of the fairway, trying to hit a little bit of a fade. Anshul Patel, the left-handed golfer, the only one who still gets to stand within the tee box, even though he puts the ball in the same place.
And another thing is that this hole would be playing downwind. So that is really favorable for these players. They'd make short work of it, but unfortunately he has hit an errant one.
So on the side of the fairway, which makes the hole a lot longer. So players play mostly towards the right side of the fairway because it sort of helps them to cut the dog leg towards the right and give them nearly a 30 to 40 yard shorter second shot. We take a look now at Jamal Hussain.
I'd say that Jamal really needs a birdie on this hole. He's 6 shots back. He wants to be at least thought in the mind of Arjun Prasad. So birdie is what he needs here to get to 2 under par and in for a tie alongside Sri Lanka's Thanga Raja.
Well, Jamal seems to be looking at that one pretty intently. A few anxious moments there. Should not be trouble, though. I think he's probably just thinking about which side. Is he on light grass or is he on dark grass? That's about all that's going to be mattering for Jamal Hussain. He never misses a fairway. Another player we have over here, Anshul Kaptial, also seems to have taken a free relief from the cart path.
That's a very interesting shot.
Very less amount of green to work with for the players who are coming up from there. That's what makes this shot a little bit tough. We take a look at Arjun Sharma coming up from short off the green, going with the flat stick from off the green, leaving himself about 8 feet for a birdie.
Difficult to judge the longer putts. Some of them come to an abbreviated stop.
Also, all the way uphill from where his positioning was, Anshul Kaptial from the low side there will have to cook up something a little fancy with an open club face here.
This will also be interesting to note a test of his short game. We know how good his long game is.
Well, there is headwind in his face, which will actually help him to create some extra spin on the ball and create the stop a bit earlier than would normally happen from such a lie.
Let's see how he does.
Well, while he's gone fairly aggressively with the swing,
I think both of us need prescription glasses, which we already have. I think maybe we need to improve the power on those, Rahul. While we try and figure out where that has gone, that ball seemed to have disappeared from sight.
well,
Some
we'll,
sort
we'll,
of
we'll find
chicanery.
out with Kaptial pulling out the marker from his pocket. I think he's gone 20 feet past the hole.
Yeah, so a little too long on that one. But that was, in all fairness, a very difficult short game shot.
But power of our glasses and the power of the player's hands. Madikar going with a prudent chip and run approach. Nice.
And also not his best effort here for Pranav. So we've seen that
Absolutely.
the players are finding it difficult on this on the final hole to sort of gauge the speed of the green, so as to speak.
Yep, it definitely seems like that. Madikar has about 6 feet left for a birdie on the 18th, the par 5. And definitely one of the things that players certainly want to do on a par 5 is to collect shots, not to give away any. As seems to be looking like the case right now. Doesn't seem to be players poised enough right now to pick up a shot over here as we wait to see Kaptial putting from about 20 feet away.
Only a few under par rounds here, far and few in between. Gaurav Pratap Singh, the leader on first day, coming back with a good round today. A 1 under par. So it's 3 over par for the tournament. Maybe still an outside shot at 10 shots behind. Never know this game. We have Manogandas, even par. MD Sanju really gained a lot of positions. Kind courtesy that 1 under par round by him. As we have a look at Anshul Kabatial, he's currently at 2 under par and has this putt to get to 3 under par, and that would ensure that he would play the leader group again. That would ensure that he would play the leader group. And just about misses that, so would remain at 2 under par. Now, a lot would depend on what Jamal Hussain does.
A pretty solid finish here for Anshul Kaptial, finishing with birdies in hole number 15 and 17. Unfortunately, a par on the 18th, but good finish here for him, staying around at 2 under par, currently at a tie for second position with Sri Lanka's Thanga Raja.
I've often waxed eloquent about this player's putting prowess. Very good with the putter, a really good stroke each and every time, the ball rolling end over end. Worked a lot on his technique.
This will get Sharma to tie alongside Kaptial and Thanga Raja at 2 under par.
Very stable when he's putting. Good repetitive motion. Let's see how he does this time.
Well, stability is definitely required on a windy course like this.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever tried that hack. I would really broaden my stance while putting in windy conditions.
That's a nice tip there for our viewers. In fact, that's a nice birdie also
Beautiful
for
birdie right
Sharma
there.
to join the players at a tie for second. Thangaraja, Kaptial, and Sharma now at 2 under par. So the wide stance approach actually works very well for stability in putting. In fact, if you remember when Padraig Harrington won the British Open, he would stand with a really wide stance to keep himself stable on the putt.
Yeah, I think this wind here would might actually be more than that British Open. This is really howling here. I've never seen the cut this high, and from the players' anecdotes, they tell you that it's some of the holes are extremely difficult, and that's a good part. If you catch it just a thimble thin, the ball just gets transported.
That was Pranav Madikar making a birdie on the 18th, who would finish the day at 4 over par and 2 over for the tournament after 3 rounds.
So the moving day has produced some good golf, especially from that man in view, Arjun Prasad.
पढ़ता है खेलता है झूलता उछलता है दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करें, एनर्जी लौटाएं, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाएं।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
I'm sorry, sir. My mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है। मुश्किल खड़ी है खोले सीना सामने एक चट्टान है मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद क्या पावाली जिद
Back to the action here. Seems like Arjun has already pulled the trigger.
Leader group on the 18th. Prasad, Jamal,
Baked fairways. Windswept golf course. Really a player's golf course, I have to say. To win here, you have to have all facets of the game under control.
Jamal not quite staying on his feet while hitting that shot. Has come up just short of the green. Should have a good look at that whole location from his position. Anshul Patel coming up from the left rough.
I think he tried to bite off too much on that.
Not quite a good sign when the player, instead of looking at the ball, starts looking at the ground about where he hit from.
That just shows you what this hole, which meanders to the right-hand side.
So you can tell now the dog leg towards the right. That's the reason that the players try to stay on the right side to help them get a shorter shot. The players moving towards the left of the fairway will actually keep making their second shot longer and longer.
Reminds you a little bit of the first hole of the Ryder Cup this time, where the players were trying to cut the corner. So very similar kind of shots. The longer hitters would favor the right hand side and try to bomb it over those pretty short club areas.
Take a look at some of the moments of the day. Anshul Kaptial, Pranav Madikar. Arjun Prasad signaling the direction of the ball.
Transition.
Jamal Hussain Mola.
It's all about, as Ben Hogan used to say, inches before and after impacts. That is what really matters. A solid strike each and every time. Reminds me a little bit about similar to his country when Siddiqur Rahman, very solid, medium hitter of the tee, but very, very solid hit each and every time. So repetition is the name of the game.
Siddiqur really accurate with his iron play. In fact, one of the most impressive things that I found about him was, like, if Siddiqur was playing around, you would find him towards the right side flag. He would start the ball in the middle of the green and fade it towards the flag. And then if the flag was towards the left, he would still start in the middle of the green and then draw it towards that flag. And he did that 18 holes over and over again, starting everything in the middle of the green and then shaping it towards the flag. And it's very difficult to, sort of master both shapes of the shot. You'll find mostly players would be more proficient at one or the other. Anshul Patel coming in for his third shot from the fairway.
In fact, myself and SIPCOT were paired in match play 2 times.
And then,
Once as an amateur, once as a pro.
oh really? That must have been really interesting.
Yeah, it was
In fact, both occasions, because I think when he was playing as an amateur, he was playing for his country,
Yes.
right? And that would definitely make him one of the top players even at that point of time.
I got the better of him on both occasions. In
Amazing, amazing.
I
You've
think
always been a good match play player, haven't you, Shaurya?
I think I used to just slow them to death.
You used to. You also had a very good record at one of the match play events that used to be
Yes.
there. The only match
Yes.
play event on the PGTI, I think. Was it the SRF?
Yes, it was the SRF. The match play frees you up a lot more. Stroke play, of course, is it's a different game altogether. I feel that I always struggled with stroke play because you could tend to get in your own way. Match play is just a flag, and you're just looking at the other player. So different game altogether. I always espouse we should have more of those, but stroke play, I say they say is the real test of golf. Match play, you just have to beat the player on that day.
Yes, absolutely. I think both are great tests of the game, and both are very interesting formats to be played. This, of course, the 4 day stroke play has its own set of challenges, and like you said, match play is all about on that day. So it doesn't matter whether what kind of a score you make. One up is one up.
What do you predict for this chip? We've seen that the players have struggled on this hole with their approach chip shots. He really does need a birdie. He's struggled towards the end of this round with 3 bogeys on the trot.
Well, I'd put my money on Jamal making this birdie without a single doubt.
What kind of shot? What club do you think he's going with? Maybe with a sand wedge, a lower shot.
Well, I think he's going with a sand wedge. He's probably going to go with a medium flighted shot, which will drop somewhere midway onto the green and have a hop and a release on it. Let's see if any of that is even correct or just something that I'm making up as we go.
Let's see if anything within about 5 feet is a good shot because he's really good from those parts.
Certainly gone lower route, running that one up.
Again, that is really out of character and
He's chased it away like
quite surprised how that really scurried on. And I think there's something on his game. This back nine, he's not quite been on top of things. He maybe want to go to the range and figure that out, especially from around the greens. We've seen the chips by him have been a little underwhelming, given his prowess. He's
That's
not
quite surprising, actually, coming from Jamal. In fact, looking at his last few holes, he definitely dropped 3 shots on 12, 13, 14, but then steadied his ship on 15, 16, and 17, made 3 pars there. And it's quite a surprising shot that he's hit over here. I don't think in all the years that I've known him, I've ever seen him hitting a shot like that.
Well, it can happen. This game is indeed fraught with a lot of mysteries. You never quite know what's going on. Maybe he's trying to hit a spinning shot. God knows it was. The wind was at his back now. Arjun. He would be looking to just make 2 putt and increase that lead.
Well, as they say, keep it simple.
He's left it a little short. I think you think Jamal chip would have confused him a little bit. Maybe
I
he thought the
think so.
green might be a lot faster than what it was. So these are the things that can play on a player's mind.
It kind of makes you a little wary when you see a ball just, sort of taking off hot past the flag. You sort of become a little wary of it. And I think that would have happened to Arjun. But if he can make that putt for birdie and go to 8 under par, that's all that really matters from here on.
Yeah, that would look like an unassailable lead, a 6-shot lead on the final day.
Well, windy courses like these, you never know if 6 shots is enough or not. But certainly, looking at the scores on this leaderboard, it is tough for anyone to shoot a very deep number on this course this week. Having said that, if someone can catch on with the heat when they start off the round and go to 4 or 5 under par for the front nine, that's the only way to catch Arjun from here.
You can see Jamal taking his time. He wants to make this. He's taken the putt. I'm not quite sure what kind of lie he has drawn here.
Jamal coming up from just off the green on the back edge. He's
This
going
looks
with the flat stick.
That's always a good sign if you've got the putter out. At least takes some of the variability out, so you're certain that you will two putt it from here.
The variability certainly gets out of the question, knowing that the length of the putt isn't that much. But two putt is not something that Jamal would be hoping or aiming for.
Of course, but I think it's a very difficult putt because now you're putting into the wind. You've already hit it firm, so that's one of those putts where players find it really difficult to get it all the way to the hole.
I'll just give it a few seconds. Post all the speculation that we made, let's find out what would Jamal be doing. Has he hit it enough?
Oh,
Unfortunately,
that was a valiant effort, I must say. That was a really good putt by Jamal. Unfortunate for that to have stayed up, and
he'd finish with a par to stay at 1 under par for the tournament after the third round here at the Coimbatore Golf Club for the Tamil Nadu Open 2025.
I'd say the only silver lining is he's still in red numbers, so he's 1 under. At least that is something that he can build up on. He's in red numbers, and that's something for Arjun to think about. Yes, he has these three golfers who are trailing him: Thanga, Arjun, and Anshul Kavatyal, along with Jamal, who is within 6 shots of the leader. But of course, it the margin can increase, the chasm can get wider as Arjun looks to make this birdie putt.
I think it'll be a very interesting final round, especially with a big lead in Arjun Prasad, who's been knocking on the door for quite some time. I think it'll be interesting to see how the final day's proceedings go, especially with about four players breathing down his neck.
I want to ask you a question. He's seen Jamal's putt break from right to left. Would that have helped him and help him in making this one?
Yes, I think that would have helped him, especially with what the ball's going to do towards the end of its roll.
Look at the flag, the way it's fluttering about. I think that's also really confusing the players what line to take. Let's see if he's able to knock this in. When this
And,
happens, it tells you that it's a sign. Maybe this is finally going to be Arjun Prasad's week after that brilliant birdie.
well, incredible birdie here for Arjun Prasad to move to 8 under par for the Tamil Nadu Open. Just 18 holes remaining for us to see if Arjun is going to close the door on this tournament for his maiden victory.
And there you see that birdie mascot right there. A happy bird indeed. I had to
Anshul.
stop myself. I was going to say birdie buddy. but, but a good birdie nevertheless.
You see Anshul Patel going with a claw grip approach.
Anshul who hit his tee shot onto the left hand side. I think has done well by holding that putt. So decent finish for Anshul as well.
Happy campers here. Our leader group finishing up on the day three's proceeding. Jamal Hussain, Anshul Patel, and Arjun Prasad. Arjun Prasad, of course, leads the way at 8 under par, 6 shots ahead of Enthanga Raja, Arjun Sharma, and Anshul Kaptial, and 7 shots ahead of last week's winner, Jamal Hussain from Bangladesh.
It's been an interesting day's play. Moving day here has not disappointed. It's been a hard fought day for these players here out on the golf course, braving the conditions. Extremely windy here at the Coimbatore golf course. Arjun Prasad leads the tournament at 8 under par by 6 shots over Thanga Raja from Sri Lanka. Arjun Sharma also in really fine form, 2 under par. Anshul Kavatyal, long hitting Anshul Kavatyal, 2 under par. Jamal Hussain, 1 under par. Then you also have Jairaj Singh Sandhu at even par. It's been an interesting week, a competitive week. You can see those flags fluttering here. What are your thoughts on tomorrow, Rahul? Are we going to see more of the same difficult conditions, or tomorrow might be a scoring day? What's your prediction?
Well, we absolutely will see a difficult day out there. The wind will stay the way it is. I haven't seen a day of tournament golf in Coimbatore without a wind so far. So the wind is definitely here to stay. We're going to wait to see if Arjun Prasad can catch him. That's the interest tomorrow on this final round.
You never know, the start of something can be shattering, and maybe he's just going to blow the field away. And from the looks of it, I think that's how he is going to get his. He's not going to be scrapping for it. He's definitely going to win it in style. From the looks of it, your prediction definitely holds true. Jamal has struggled today, finds himself 7 behind, and I think this tournament is his for taking, and he should build up on that lead, and maybe it's possible he's 6 ahead with another.
I completely think so, and I think that's what Arjun would be looking to do over here, to take that 8 under par number into double-digit under pars on this difficult.
We'd implore you to just stay with us and the other happenings, and you can have a look at the top 10 scores. Been a beautiful day, and we've seen a lot of birdies.